Oh, thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and good evening, fellow Toasties. So how not to be deadly boring on your next Zoom presentation. Now, Ben, what I really wanted to call this speech was not how to not be so fucking boring, excuse my language, on your next Zoom presentation. But last week, I went to 3 different events on Zoom. And 99% of the presentations and speakers were deadly boring. I was so not engaged. I was multitasking, I was checking email. So it inspired this talk tonight, and I want to provide you 4 tips for how to bring your Zoom presentations alive and keep you, the audience, engaged. So tip number 1. Look good and sound good. So I've actually upped my whole Zoom presentation setup. I have 2 LED lights on each side of me, and I'm still working on all this. I have an external camera and I have an external mic. And I'm just gonna show you really quick so you can see the difference. Right now, this is my new camera, and I just wanna switch it really quick. Have to slide that over. So this is more the quality when you're using your computer, and it's subtle, but I really like the extra detail and lighting I get with the external one. Oh. Tip number 2, engage your audience, be interactive. And one of my tips on doing this came from my partner, who some of you know is a 3rd grade school teacher. And it's about getting people into their bodies a little bit. So if you're willing to get out of your seat really quick, and you don't have to, you can also move just in your chair. I'm gonna play some music for really just 20 seconds and let us move a little bit together. If you're in your chair, you can just stretch a little, show us your moves. I knew that I would know. So good, because I got you. Ow! All right. I think you get the idea. He does that with his 3rd graders. And Greg was telling me how important it is to actually engage people on Zoom every 2 minutes, or you lose them to email or something else. Another great way to engage people is to ask a question and use the chat box. So I also want to do that. If you guys can all pull up your chat function. I think everyone knows how to use that now. Just make sure it's set to everyone. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it, but don't hit return or send yet. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, go, and we'll all answer at the same time. So the question is, what is your biggest fear when you think about giving a Zoom speech? What is your biggest fear when you think about giving a speech on Zoom? So just type in your answer, but don't hit return yet. And as Kathleen said in my intro, my biggest fear was being boring on giving a speech on how to not be boring.